This current season of anime is honestly one of the best we've had in a really long time. More Dawn, My Dress Up Darling Season 2, Hikaru, The Fragrant Flower, Penny and Stocking, and even fucking Bunny Girl Senpai is making its return after 7 fucking years. This season is absolutely packed, but even among this already packed season, one show has managed to stand out to those that have been keeping their eyes peeled. Takopi's Original Sin. This show has managed to touch the hearts of so many people in just 6 episodes. And people are already in talks about the Anime of the Year awards already being decided. But like, come on now, let's be real, this show can't be that good. Alright, yep, trigger warning for like suicide and stuff. This show gets dark really quickly. So to understand why people love this show so much, we of course have to first understand what this show is even about in the first place. So Takopi follows a pretty simple premise. Silly alien for planet Happy by the name of Takopi comes to Earth to spread joy. Takopi meets this kid by the name of Shizuka and decides that this is the one. This is the one that Takopi will make happy. But that tends to be kinda hard when this kid's dad is out of the picture, her mother is a broke prostitute who is either not at home or sleeping, so this little girl is just skin and bones. And if that wasn't already enough, she has no friends at school, and she's getting heavily bullied that nobody wants to associate themselves with her in fear of getting dragged in along with her. This all leaves Takopi with a very hard mission. How do you make someone smile when they have nothing in their lives to smile about? This question is basically what Takopi spends all of the 6 episodes trying to figure out the answer to. The issue being the fact that he was asking the wrong question this entire time. Toxic positivity is not a topic I see covered like at all. Genuinely don't think I can name a single other piece of media that covers the topic, but it's actually a fairly common issue, especially in recent times. Takopi's entire goal for the show is to make Shizuka happy, but he never manages to really achieve this. Even with a camera that can go back in time, no matter how many loops he goes through, the result is more or less the same. Shizuka never really feels any sort of happiness, and a lot of the time the opposite actually becomes true. And the reason this is because of Takopi's toxic positivity. Now, if you're unfamiliar with the concept of toxic positivity, it probably sounds really strange. I mean, how can something positive equate to toxicity, which is something negative? Well, it's pretty simple. Too much of a good thing is always a bad thing. Takopi is always happy, always positive, and never ever sees any other side of things, because he believes this is the way to be happy. Takopi as a character is basically the definition of ignorance is bliss. But Shizuka isn't ignorant. She's a human being very aware of her current situation and how dreadful it is. So no matter how many ideas Takopi comes up with to cheer her up, they never work, because Shizuka knows at the end of the day, they won't change anything. What's the point of a pair of wings when you have to land back on the ground eventually? This is basically Shizuka's thought process. She doesn't care for a cheap distraction or escapism. What she wants is for her situation to be different, and Takopi's toxic positivity isn't going to provide her with this. All Takopi is doing is undermining Shizuka's feelings. That's all this toxic positivity will ever do. If you constantly tell someone to smile, it's like telling them they're wrong for crying, wrong for feeling angry, sad, depressed, lonely. You're telling them that they should just abandon those bothersome feelings and smile instead. But that's simply not how humans work. We have a vast array of feelings that don't stop at happiness, because all of these feelings are important to us. They're important for us to feel and to be connected with. In the end, Takopi's methods never worked because they lacked a very integral part of humanity. We as humans often seek to be understood. We want to no longer feel alone in our sorrows. I mean, why do you think I made this YouTube channel where I just talk about my feelings? I want people to understand me. Chizuka just wanted somebody to understand her pain, and to understand how shitty her situation was and how much it impacted her. And Takopi never gave her this. Takopi never understood her. We as humans are often unsure of ourselves. Even simple questions like whether we're reacting too strongly to a situation or whether we're not reacting strongly enough can have us feeling really confused and insecure. Or something like whether we're alone in our sorrows or our worries, or if they're shared and other people feel our pain. These are all different worries, different turmoils that we all feel as human beings that can be put to rest with a simple sentence. I understand you. I understand that it must hurt being abandoned by your father, Chizuka. I understand how much you must miss your mom and wish she was a bigger part of your life. I understand how the bullying must be affecting you and how you wish it would just stop. I'm so sorry, Chizuka. But please, just... Takopi's main cast consists of strictly children. Using children when covering as dark of a subject matter as Takopi does is always going to be a bit of a slippery slope. If you don't have a good reason for showing a child hanging themselves on screen, then you're going to look a bit weird doing it. But Takopi's cast being children is definitely a vital and important choice. And that is apparent when we're introduced to the parents. Saying a parent and then parents in the same sentence feels very weird. I'm getting off track. We're introduced to the parents of all three characters. Chizuka, the main character, Marina, the bully, and then Asuma, who we don't really have time to cover today as I have to get this video out as fast as possible before the internet inevitably loses interest in this show. So, as we're introduced to Shizuka's mom, we as viewers kind of think, wow, she's absolutely awful. It makes sense why she feels that way. And then when it comes to Marina, after witnessing how she treats Chizuka, we're kind of anticipating the show's explanation for how she turned out this way. And when that reveal comes with the mother, yet again we kind of think to ourselves, wow, she's absolutely awful. It makes sense why she feels that way. We are all very affected by our parents. Obviously, they played one of the biggest parts in raising us into the person we are today. But as a kid, especially as young as the one seen in Takopi, your parents are kind of your everything. So what you'll often see is that the kid ends up becoming a direct reflection of their parents. Takopi seeks to show that without any outside influence, kids can never really grow into their own person. Marina and Shizuka are so completely and utterly lonely that there isn't really anyone around them to have any sort of influence on them. Sure, Marina is surrounded by people, but it becomes pretty clear basically immediately that these girls are not much more than yes men. They stand around the bully and agree with everything they say strictly out of fear, not out of any sort of love or care. Family curses are a very real thing, as much as the wording makes it sound like some sort of urban legend. All it is a bad parent raising a mirror that nobody ever cracks. If there is nobody to help a kid grow, if there's nobody to crack that mirror so that it can create something new, all you'll ever see in it is that same ugly reflection you should have gotten rid of a long damn time ago. Usually when I write a video, I'll have one main topic I want to talk about, whether that be violence, the belief that someone will fix you, toxic relationships, whatever. I've made videos on all kinds of things. But usually the media I cover will have one core message, one core takeaway that they'll want you to take with you when you finish consuming the media. Because it's honestly hard enough to get an audience to step away from what you've made with any sort of value at all. And believe me, I read all my comments. Yet Takopi manages to cover all of these deep and important topics that I've discussed in this video so masterfully, and they do all of this in only 6 episodes. All of these are covered with such care and cleverness and thoughtfulness that writing this video was honestly a challenge. I went through like 50 different versions of this video because I didn't know what I wanted to focus on until I landed on this one, where I just focused on everything kind of. But at the end of the day, you know what the title says. you know what the intro was. Do I really think that the anime of the year has been decided? And if I'm being honest, I do think anime of the year may have already been. Wait, hold on. I just got a notification. Let me check. Holy